Ta-da! Yay. So, if you have already driven to school or work, you've already gone through the most dangerous part of your day because driving can be pretty scary sometimes. And it becomes even more dangerous when the driver is impaired. They could be distracted by their friends in the car or by their phone. They could be drunk, or they might just be having a rough day and they're pretty emotional, or they might just be too old to be driving in the first place. Whatever the case, it's important to pay attention to the road. I think that most people forget that they're driving 5,000 pounds and they're going at least a speed of 20 miles per hour or more. And they probably trust their brakes a little bit too much. Obviously, there's some situations that we can't control while we're driving. We can't control nature. So if it's raining or if it's snowing and there's ice on the road, that's not exactly something we can control. A deer might run out into the road and we might hit it. There's not much you can do in that situation. But we can make conscious decisions to be a safer driver. There was one time I was in front with my car. We were driving on the freeway, and there was a car behind us that was swerving from lane to lane, and my friend noticed that, and he got over as far as away as he could from the other driver, and not 20 seconds after that, the other car smashed into the concrete divider, and if my friend hadn't been paying attention, that could have been us getting smashed into at 70 miles an hour, and I would not have been going home that night. And we have different companies and organizations that try to prepare people for different situations and help them to be safer drivers. We have Mothers Against Drunk Driving or Driver's Edge, which will teach you how to control your car when you're hydroplaning and different things like that. And so while you're driving, you should be watching the road and not watching your friend's Snapchat story, because there's nothing so important on your phone that you shouldn't be watching the road. And it gives me anxiety when I see people taking videos of themselves while they're driving, because it's like, is your inspirational thought for the day really so important that you're going to endanger yourself and the other people on the road? Like, you can wait until you get home. It's not that important. It's a pretty recent problem, having people using their phones while they're driving, but it has already caused over 1.6 million car crashes. So that's 1 in every 4 crashes is caused because someone was on their phone and was sending that last text like, oh, hey, I'm on my way. Like, send that before you get into the car, before you start driving. You should avoid driving when you are not in control of your emotions. Driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic while you're angry is probably not the best idea. You're more likely to make a mistake because you're annoyed by the drivers around you, and you'll swerve over to get ahead of someone and then end up crashing into someone. And even though you might not injure someone, you still got into a car accident, and you get to deal with all of the stress that comes with it, all the insurance and all that fun stuff. It's just something that could have been easily avoided if you just take a second to pull off on the side of the road. Make sure that you are able to pay attention to what's going on around you. So be a smart driver, be a defensive driver, even though you're paying attention, maybe someone else isn't. Um, and remember, when people get into a car accident, most of the times the car isn't the only thing that gets damaged.